So people like Bridget Keast,
Yes.
who 1978, basically, what do you feel women like her did for women like you who in this profession?
Wow. Um, Looking back, even just through some of the history of the PA program, and you see that from the get-go, they were men. They were men who were applying. They were men who were going through the program. And while that's wonderful, there needs to be a seat at the table for women. And Bridget helped to provide a seat at the table for women. And Bridget trained me. She was one of those mentors for me when I was going through school. Not only when I was going through the program, but also whenever I got out of PA school. Bridget was a cheerleader for me, honestly. The reason I got involved with the OAPA and with legislation and advocacy was actually because of Bridget. She was the one who called me up whenever I finished PA school and said, "You need to be involved." And I felt like I was too busy. And Bridget said, "You are never too busy to be involved in the future of PAs." And so I took her at her word, and I got involved with the OAPA. And I didn't feel like I was qualified at the time to be on the OAPA board, but she said, "Come to a meeting." So I came to a meeting, and the next thing I knew, I was on the board. And then the next thing I knew, I was president of the OAPA. And then the next thing I knew, I was on faculty for the program and all of those things. And so she really was a cheerleader for me, and she's always been a cheerleader for PAs. And so I think she's partly responsible, largely responsible for instilling that in me.
I was an x-ray tech for 10 years prior to going to PA, applying for and going to PA school. And I was working at Mercy in the x-ray department, and Mike Pagano was a PA there with some surgeons. And one night we were talking about the PA profession, and I said, boy, I wish I'd have done that. In fact, there was a fellow in my hometown of Hutchinson who, prior to the MedX or PA program, was working with the doctor as an unofficial PA, and I thought, that would just be a wonderful thing. And Mike said, "Well, get your butt in gear and go apply to school." So I did, and that was the beginning of the process in '78.
So how did it feel becoming really one of the first female PAs in the state of Oklahoma?
I didn't think much about it until I didn't realize it. Because of our ratio at school, but when I went out to work, even in my rotations as a student, I didn't realize it until I started doing that, and I don't know. It wasn't particularly an honor. It was just it was a challenge at times, but a great challenge.
To know that PAs were out there doing the job day in and day out, making a very low wage, just reminds me again that PAs are doing this profession not for the money, but because we care about people. We care about the health of people. We really do this job because we love it. And, when I got out of school 20 years ago, I was making $30 an hour, and which, that was what the wage was. It's a lot higher now, but still compared, of course, to what physicians make, it's not nearly as much. But it's a very rewarding job. And I've volunteered at Ministries of Jesus for the last 10 years, not making anything, but because it is a rewarding job to be able to make a difference in someone's life in some way by attending to their health.
What was your favorite thing about being a PA?
The people. still is. Actually, I talk about my practice as being a social event with a little bit of medical interactive. I have to ask about how's your grandma and have you built your house yet, and what are your kids up to, and then it's like, oh, by the way, what are you here for? Yeah, in Kingfisher I've seen 4 generations of family.
Being a PA is difficult. It is a difficult job. Getting into PA school is very difficult. Most people getting into PA school have to apply multiple times to get in. It's not easy. So the people who are going to PA school are doing it because they really seek value in that. They're doing that job because they want to.